Today is the 19th of March 2024, and this will be our ninth video on trigonometry. Okay, we've come a long way, so if you have issues or problems with solving trigonometry questions, I will advise you to start from the intro part, and then we build it up. Okay, now thank you to everyone who have subscribed to my channel. Okay, and if you've not done so already, please can you consider subscribing, and after you've watched the video, please share, like, write some nice comments. Okay, I mean nice comments. Okay, follow depending on which platform you are watching from. Okay, I will appreciate that a lot. And if the account is not yours, please ask permission from the account holder. It's very important. You don't want to put somebody else's accounts in issues. Let the account holder give you their permission before you use the account. Okay, or ask somebody to help you open your own account wherever you are. Okay, you can open your own account and then subscribe. When I upload, you get a notification, you watch it, you like it, you share. Okay, and when you subscribe, it helps us remain on the platform, and it helps us circulate what we are trying to do. Okay, because if you don't subscribe, then but I know that I have a lot of views, so there should be a lot of people out there who are viewing but don't want to subscribe. Okay, in the comment section, please, I only write, please follow my notes/script. Thank you. Okay, it's very important today. Like this, it's not a graph work, it's trig. It's a lot of decimals for a reason, because I want to explain some things. Okay, and I want to show you how I broke it down. Okay, if I were doing an exam, I might not go through all the steps, but as I always say, it's better to do it step by step. Okay, like if you are traveling somewhere, the navigator will talk you through step by step. But assuming in the olden days, when you just have a map and you have to make your notes, and then you get somewhere, you park, and then you make another note for the next 30 minutes, and then you find somewhere to park. Okay, but this one, because I will ask you to follow my notice script. Okay, please follow it. So if I'm talking about 0.75 and it comes out as 0.75, please add the points. Okay, it's just as simple as that. Beware of scammers. Please don't text me or write me that you've donated to my charity or something. I don't have a charity. I'm not collecting money. Okay, and whoever you donated to is not me. Okay, please. They are scammers. Please don't. This is my official page. Recap. Look at last video. We look at application of sine rules. Okay, I'm doing all these topic on trigonometry because the questions I have, maybe at one point you have to use the cosine rule and apply maybe tan to find the right function, okay, to get the answer. So I want to show you how to apply these rules to questions so that when we get there and I'm doing it, then you understand better. Okay, now starter again. Before we started trig, we're usually looking at terminating and recurring decimals. I think one of the videos on possible questions, they gave you a set of fractions and they ask you which one terminates or which one recur. Okay, there was a question in that vein from the higher paper. So I want to explain to you, if you have a denominator with 2 or 5 or both, it will terminate. That is if you have a denominator with a prime factor. Okay, so a denominator of 8 of 2 times 10, okay, 2 times 10 is 20, 2 times 5 is 10. Okay, these denominators terminate, okay, with this kind of prime factors. We've done prime factors, okay, but assuming you have any other denominators like 7, 3, they will recur. You will get like 0.77777 or 66666. So you might have to round it off to terminate, okay? But they might bring fractions and then they might ask you if it terminates or recur. Then you have to look through a set of fractions, normally 4 or 5, and then you pick one. So I'm trying to show you how you can do your selection. If it's a calculator paper, you can easily use your calculator, okay? But at times some calculators round it off, okay? So like if you have 0.16666, it might round it up to 0.7 or 0.2. Okay, so you might have to use the denominator to find it, and then they'll ask you for a reason. If they give you a question like that, you shouldn't let it go because it might be 2 marks. Okay, so they'll ask you what is your reason, because it has prime factors of 2 or 5 or both, or because it has a prime factor of 3, 7, that is why it's recurring. Okay, so for instance 3/4, this one here, our first starter, this is going to what? Terminate, because we know that 3/4 is 0.75. Okay, so it terminates. Okay, and what is a prime factor here? 2 times 2 is 4. Okay, so you can see this straight away. But here you have a prime factor of 7 and a 2. Even though it stops at a point because of this 7, okay, so it goes on and on and on but you can't see the recurring part. Okay, but here they can ask you to change this into a fraction into a decimal, and leave it as a 2 decimal place. So here it will be 0.36. Okay, with fractions and decimals, there are a lot of questions they can throw at you in the first 5 questions. Normally the first 5 questions are some of these questions. Okay, but questions are supposed to warm you up, and some of them are, I guess, there to confuse you. So because of these two, it terminates at some point. If it were only 7, okay, it will go on and on and on and on. Okay, so try like 5/7. It will go on and on. Okay, but because of the 2, it terminates at some point, even though it has a lot of figures. Now, this one, it has prime factors of 2 and 5, so it terminates 11/40, which is 0.275. Okay. Now, today, as I said last lesson, we use the cosine rule. We apply the cosine rule, okay, to solve questions. So in the application, because I'm showing you how to use this sine rule in last video, okay, it was simple, but some of these questions come. Okay, so we just apply the sine rule. Today we are going to apply this cosine rule. Okay, so you know that normally the length over the angle opposite. So here they are asking you to find x, and the angle opposite is 56. Okay, so 9 centimeters here, the angle opposite will be b. Okay, 8 centimeters, the angle opposite is c. Now let's look at the sine rule again. Here, I've written it here. This is what we are using today. Okay, somebody will ask, how would I know when to use the sine rule and the cosine rule? If you work a lot with these equations, you know. That's why I'm using the method of repetition. So if you watch these videos, so look, you have x, and then you have the angle, and you have 2 sides. Okay, so here I'll rather use the sine rule, because if I use the cosine rule, I don't have 2 angles. Okay, so if I use this, okay, what angle would I use for the 8 centimeters? I don't have any. So it will be easier to use the cosine rule here. The only way you can get to this point of thinking in math is by just practicing little by little every day. So applying the sine rule, so I'm looking for x, and I'm looking for cos x. Okay, so now x here, and then cos a, which is a cos s. Okay, now my b and c will be 8 and 9. So x squared, okay, will be equal to 9 squared plus 8 squared minus 2b is 9, c is 8. Okay, cos 56, that is the angle opposite the length that we want to find, 56. Okay, so if you are finding x, you use the angle opposite x. If I'm finding b, I'll use the this 9 centimeters, I'll use the angle opposite B. And if I'm finding C, I'll use the length opposite C. So C 8 centimeters, B, the angle at B 9 centimeters, so the angle at 8x. Okay, so immediately you are able to do that. Then the rest is just breaking them down. Okay, this type of question you might need a calculator because you don't know cos 56 on top of your head unless they give it to you in the question. So x squared will be 9 squared plus 8 squared, which will be minus 2 times 9 times 8 cos 56. Okay, so x squared will be equal to 81 plus 64, giving you 145. 2 times 9 times 8, 144, cos 56, 0.5592. Okay, if you multiply 0.5592 by 144, you get 80.5238. Now it's a minus sign here because if you add 81 to 64, you will have 45. So if you subtract, x squared becomes 64.4762. Okay, so x will be plus or minus the square root of 64.4762. Now it's length, so we choose the positive. Okay, so x will become 8 centimeters. That is if you round it off to the nearest whole number. Okay, now it's in centimeters, so don't write 8 and go away. The unit is centimeters because x is a length. Okay, so leave your unit answer. Now the second example, again applying the cosine rule. Okay, so here again we are finding x. X here we have two sides, okay, which the cosine rule needs, and then we have the angle. So x squared will be equal to 9.2 squared plus 5.8 squared minus 2 times 9.2 times 5.8 cos of the angle opposite x. Okay, assuming they gave you the angle as C, you are finding x, so you can't use that angle. You have to always use this angle here. Okay, and if they gave you the angle as C, then you as well go with the sine rule. Okay, now so 9.2 squared 80 gives you 84.64. 5.8 squared gives you 33.64. If you add them up, you get 118.28. That is the first part of the equation. 2 times 9.2, because the negative affect everything on this side. So 2 times 9.2 times 5.8, okay, will give me 106.72. Cos of 39 will be 0.7771. If I multiply 106.72 times 0.7771, I get 82.3771. Okay, 7775. Okay, that is to 5 decimal place. I normally leave it at 4 decimal places. Okay, now if you subtract, you get 35.9023. X now will be equal to plus or minus the square root of, so here x squared will be that. Okay, so x will be plus or minus the square root of 35.9023. So the positive of x will be 5.99918 centimeters. So x will be 6 centimeters, the nearest whole number. So here x here equals the positive of 6 centimeters. The unit, the unit is in meters. This is a mistake you shouldn't make. Okay, yeah, the unit is in meters, so your answer should be in meters. 6 centimeters is different from 6 meters. Okay, assuming you were not given the units. Okay, most of the exam questions in the higher paper, they kindly give you the sum of the units. Okay, but you have to be vigilant. Assuming they didn't give you the units, don't think, oh, it's always in centimeters, so my answer should be in centimeters. Don't do that. Okay, don't do this mistake. It can cost you a mark. Now another example, find x. So now here x is an angle. Okay, so to find x, I need this length here. Okay, so now we are going to apply the cosine rule again. Normally some people, they make cos a the subject or cos x the subject and then apply, but I normally go straight and use the cos rule, because if you're making the subject and you miss it, then your answer becomes wrong. So I apply the rule as it is. So x squared here, okay, is 11 centimeters. So I'm going to use cos A in the end. Okay, so it will be 6 centimeters, that one, plus 6 centimeters all squared, plus 14 centimeters all squared, minus 2 times 6 times 14 cos of x, because I have this length. Okay, so 11 squared will be 121. 6 squared will be 36. 14 squared will be 196. Okay, so if I add 36 to 196, I get 232. Okay, now 2 times 6 times 14 will give me 168 cos of s. Okay, so in the end we are going to make cos x the subject. Okay, now I'm going to, all this is negative 168 cos x. So I'm going to move it to that side. 121 is positive, and I'll move it here. Okay, to come and subtract 232. So 168 cos x will be equal to 232 minus 121, which will give me 111. So cos of x will be 111 over 168, which will be 0.6607. So x now here will be the cos inverse of 0.6607. If you do it accurately, your calculator will give you 48.65. Angle questions, I'll advise you to leave your answer in 1 decimal place, or nearest whole number if you are asked to. So x, this angle here, will be 48.7 degrees. Okay, so that is how you basically apply the cosine rule. Okay, now let's look at another example, application of cosine rule. So here you need a length, you need to find the length, you know the angle opposite, you know two sides. So x squared, so in the end you finish with cos of 67, applying this cosine rule here. Okay, so x squared will be 6 all squared plus 8 all squared. Okay, the arrow just means that I'm applying that to solve this. Okay, actually maybe I should have just repeated it here. So the arrow means that this is what we are using. Minus 2, okay, 6 times 6 times 8, cos of 67. Okay, x squared equals 36 plus 64, which will give you 100. 2 times 6 times 8. The minus affect everything here. Okay, so I can do it as positive and repeat the minus so that I don't get confused. Okay, so 2 times 6 times 8 will be 96. Cos 67 will be 0.3907. So x squared will be equal to 100 minus 37.5102. X squared now will be 62.4898. So x will be plus or minus the square root of 62.4898. If you do that correctly on your calculator, okay, you are going to have x will be 7.91. We choose the positive because it's length. Okay, so to 1 decimal place it will be 7.9 millimeters. To the nearest whole number it will be 8 millimeters. Millimeters here as our unit, so our answer should be millimeters. Okay, so this is basically how you apply the cosine rule. I'm hoping to take it bit by bit so that when we start solving past papers, I'll try and do 2 more videos where we only look at exam questions on trig. Okay, because you might have to use maybe a cosine rule and a tan. Okay, so that is why I have broken it down. Okay, so today we are using the cosine rule. So if you don't know how to apply the cosine rule, this is your opportunity, because I've brought in several questions for you to see how to apply it and how to use the formula to break it down. Okay, like here, okay, that is your, this is your and remember, if it's length, you are always going to choose the positive. Don't say your answer is plus or minus, and use the right units. Okay, please. Okay, please subscribe, share, like. Somebody out there might be desperately looking for a platform like this. Okay, so subscribe, share, like. Okay, and follow us depending on which platform. Help us share the word. Okay, and please leave nice comments. Okay, I'll appreciate it a lot. It takes a lot of effort to do some of these projects. Okay, so please, I'll appreciate your kindness. Okay, don't write things on my plan, because I'm not working with 2-year-olds. Okay, please don't do that. Okay, beware of scammers. Take care of yourself online. Okay, thank you so much for watching today's video with me. Okay, and I'll see you in the next.